In this video, we are going to go through the things that people say you can't do that to your journal. And I just look at them and say, hold my coffee, watch me. Because you can do anything you want to your journal. If you think it looks great, then do it. If you think it may look great, then do it. If you having just the notion of an idea, of a process that you think, yeah, that might work, then try it. The thing about junk journaling, the thing about mixed media is pushing boundaries and saying, basically, F you to any of your naysayers. And I'm kind of doing that with life right now. People are saying, oh, you can't do that. And it's like, watch me. I'm living up to the Gen X standard of keep quiet and surprise them. So what I'm going to do today is we're going to paint our base. This is the base we built. And I don't like these labels, and I know most people just try and peel them off, but I'm going to show you what usually happens to me because it's I'm 99.9% sure it's going to happen. Now someone says, so I've heard that if you hit it with a hairdryer, it softens the adhesive, but tape and I are not friends. So this is what always happens to me when I try and peel off a label. I go slow, take my time, and 9 times out of 10, it rips. Look, see? And I, you know, 99.9% of the time, it does this. So what we're going to do is we're going to peel these off so they're not as intrusive, I guess would be the word. And that goes right in the bin because, again, tape and I are not friends. And what are labels? Just big pieces of tape. And I'm pulling, you know, at the angle and gently. And I'm just going to embrace the tears. And this is why tape and I are not friends. Well, one of the many reasons why. It always wants to stick to itself. And we're going to use more tape. Get that? Because I have this idea in my head that what we're going to do with this journal might work with this cardboard base that we got going on here. You know what? I'm going to try something. Because I had this idea. What if we came in with a knife? This is not a knife. This is a letter opener. But it looks, this thing looks like a mini dagger. Like if someone were to break into my home, I could really defend myself with it. And this isn't working the way I hoped it would. Yeah, see, this is why I don't even try, because it's frustrating. And why put yourself up to more frustration? So we're going to put this back before I end up maiming myself, because strawberry jam. Yeah. Getting really frustrated with this. It's like, okay, just, you were coming off a nice big pieces. Why did you stop? What did I do? Did I offend you with my I don't like tape thing? And I hear my friend Julie from long ago, when I would use my fingernails for stuff, and she'd be like, they're jewels, not tools, Tish. I'm like, yeah, not for this lady. should have done this off camera. But you know, this is the joy of live streams. You get to see the pains that I go through as well. Hang on, you know what? We're going to switch gears. We're going to do these little ones. So we're going to have some mini successes in this chaos that we call art. Maybe. Even the little labels are rejecting me. It's okay. Embrace it. Embrace it. So, I don't know about you guys, but do you have problems with labels like this? Do you just leave them on there? I don't know. My ADHD is like, you gotta pull them off. You gotta take them off. They need to come off. There we go. And I'm gonna have to hit this with some rubbing alcohol because there's some adhesive left behind. So, maybe I do turn on the hair dryer and warm this up. Maybe that will help. Let's take the rubbing alcohol and apply it to a studio towel here. Oops, didn't mean to get it on the cardboard. And we'll just, you know what would work too? It's probably, you know what? I just thought of that. Hey Tish, you're thinking. Wow, you must have enough caffeine in your caffeine system. This is a glue eraser. Oh, that's an awful sound, but it's working. I wonder, hang on. Hey, oh my goodness, it's working, sort of. It's still taking forever. All right. Okay, it's kind of working. Let's try I'm going to mute my microphone and try the hairdryer. I mute my microphone so you don't have to hear the loudness that this thing causes. So give me a moment. It's going to go silent. I don't have my music set up for y'all. Just give me a moment. I'm going to try it on this little label first. Thank you for your patience, because that actually worked. I am amazed. So I'm going to take this glue eraser and try and get that last little piece of stuff off. And it's still a little sticky. You'll probably just give it a good rub with that. I'll be damned. So if you have a problem with a sticker, get out the hairdryer. I had it on hot but low, so that seemed to work the best. So I'm going to saturate this towel, and I'm just going to hit the extra adhesive that's on here with that, and hopefully it'll help get some of it off. There's a sticky spot right there. I can feel it. I'm using rubbing alcohol versus like Goo Gone or something like that, because Goo Gone has oils in it and it'll leave stains on your paper. If that's what you're going for, then by all means use Goo Gone. But I prefer not to use that. Most things will come off with rubbing alcohol. It's probably the least expensive cleaner. Like really, I use, instead of using household cleaners, the only household cleaner I buy anymore is the concentrate for Simple Green. And I dilute it heavily down, like heavily down to clean my floors. So other than that, and sometimes like if it's really greasy or something, I'll use that. Otherwise, I just use Dawn dish soap or vinegar and water or rubbing alcohol. Toilet bowl cleaner. I do buy toilet bowl cleaner, I will admit, because that stuff is a necessity. Okay, there's a little bit still right there. Let's take this and see if we can get it. But we're going to paint all this, so it doesn't matter if there's a little bit of staining going on here. I just want to try and get as much of the adhesive off, because that will leave random texture, and then we can cover it up. So I'm not trying to get all of it. I'm just trying to get like the big spaces. Like this one has a big, it's bigger than my finger, wider than my finger. So I'm just going to hit it with this. Is a glue eraser. You can get these for, I don't know, a few bucks. I think they're like $3 or $4. I think Dick Blick has them. It's one of the things that I need to talk to Stephanie about ordering for her shop. There we go. Perfect. Let's put that back in its spot in my bin. Excuse me. Now let's hang this back up so I can dry. And then we're going to grab a piece of parchment. That means a little adventure, walking through the chaos that is known as my studio right now. Why is organization such a hard thing? It's like I have little piles of everything, little piles of things everywhere. And I need to put it all away, you know? It's just like, just put it away, Tish. Okay, so I'm trying to decide if I want to use a sponge brush or if I want to use a paintbrush, because I've got this paintbrush. And you know what? Maybe let's go in. Where is my big guy? Ha. We're going to go in with this big palette knife guy. And we're going to use clay-based paint. This is Daydream Apothecary clay and chalk artesian paint. I like clay paint. I like this paint. There we go. Put that back on the lid. I try to keep that on there because it helps seal the jar. And I don't want to get paint all over me. So let's grab that rag again. There we go. I will get paint all over my hands. That is a given. So let's get ourselves a stick. Oh, I just think I put something in there, but it's okay. We're going to come in. And we're going to paint this. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? I forgot to do. I was thinking let's put tape along the edges here. But I think I might come back with some binding strips because we could just take fabric and fold it over. And then when we stitch down the front, we'll stitch down the inside just to help cover the cardboard. That's what we'll do. See? Thinking on the fly. So this is gonna be the inside and that's gonna be the outside. No. Yes. No, yes. No, this is the inside. This is gonna be the outside. So, because I want this seam to be covered up. So yeah, I want this on the inside, and we'll put a piece of fabric here. We'll wrap around the edges, or we can put some paper here or something. I just want to do something to show you that even if you don't have scrapbook paper, if you don't have the fancy papers, you can do this with acrylic paint. You don't have to do it with the artesian paints. You can do this with acrylic paint. You can do it with craft paint. You can do it, heck, you can you can make your own paint using whatever you have on hand. But I just kind of want to take this. We're going to do this. I forgot to cut this edge down, but we're not going to worry about it now that we're going to put like a seam binding thing. I might just cut a strip of fabric, and you're going to be like, oh, it's going to curl, it's going to curl. Yeah, that's what happens when you get paper wet. It curls. But as our friend Mr. Tim Holtz always says, paper doesn't have memory, and it doesn't. Kind of like my ex-husband. But anyway, I want kind of like a fresco feel, I guess. I don't know what else to call it. So I'm just moving the paint around. There is an additive, and I'm trying to remember what it's called. Excuse me. That you can add to acrylic paint, and it'll give it the look of chalk paint. Mostly, it's not 100%. Okay, so there's that. Let's go back and get this edge. So first we're going to put paint down here. See, now we're going to have two different textures, which is cool. If that's something you don't like, then don't use paint. Use newspaper that you've painted or something. Cover it in newspaper and paint that, you know. Wrapping paper. Wrapping paper would work for the inside. You can get really craft paper. You can get really cute craft paper, wrapping paper at Dollar Tree, at thrift stores. You know, leave your mind open to new ideas and just, you know, don't let people say you can't do that to your journal. Well, you know what? It's my journal. I'll do whatever the flop I want. because, you know, and you think of all the great artists that have lived in this world. You think they let people say, oh, you can't do that? No. Here's a quote, and I can't remember exactly how it goes. And I actually think it has something to do with like great women are never silent or something like that. I don't know. If you know what I'm talking about, please leave it in the comments, because it's going to bother me until I find out. And honestly, I'll probably go to Google after my live stream and Google it, because that's how my brain is. Thank you, ADHD. So I'm not using much paint. Oops, I wiped off the wrong side. I'm using like a teaspoon of paint on the back of my palette knife, and I'm just firmly smooching it down. And that is the technical term, smooching. Yeah. This is the second project that I have done with this paint, and it's probably about a third to a quarter gone. So I'm trying to remember what the price was on it, but if you want to get this paint, head on over to the Artist's Haven, the Painted Raven. We have the same like syllable set. The Painted Raven, the Artist's Haven. You know, it's just like, that's where we go. But anyways, head on over to the Painted Raven. The link is in the description, and there is a discount code for you. Use that discount code and save yourself some money. I mean, it may only be, your shipping costs or your sales tax, but actually I think it's a little both. But at least you save a little bit of money and you can move forward with life. Yeah, I just got paint on my finger. I'm trying to not get paint on my pants because these pants don't have paint on them yet. And they're like my favorite pair of comfy pants, because that's all I wear nowadays is comfy pants. I do not own a pair of jeans. Can you imagine? So I haven't owned a pair of jeans since before COVID, because I have really long legs, and finding women's jeans that fit right and having a 35-inch inseam. I mean, I have really long legs. My height is all in my legs. Do you guys have problems finding clothes that fit right? Because you have like legs that go on for miles, or hips. Girls that have hips, I'm jealous because I don't have any. I really don't. Those little, women's jeans kind of have that curve cut out for your hips. Yeah, no. It's just a little pooch of fabric for me. So I will gladly trade you a little bit of my height for some of your hips. Although I do love my body the way it is. I'm happy. I'm content. If you don't like the way I look, you can look the other way. And that's what this video is really about. It's about finding your inner strength to basically say F you to your naysayers. Even if the biggest naysayer you have is yourself. Sometimes you got to tell yourself, self, shut the flop up, because you're not helping me. You're not helping me here. Okay, so let's do this. And yes, we are curling. It's okay. We're going to put fabric on the other side, and we're going to put signatures in, and it's going to come all together, and it's going to be fine. Trust the process. You can use a silicone spatula to do this with. You can use anything you have on hand. There is no reason that you can't make art. Use food coloring and watered down, what's it called? Mother of pearl, I can't think. Joint compound. And do that. It'll give you, water it down. Use a little bit of glue in there, and that'll help give, keep it a little bit more texturalized, and you'll get a really cool texture. Play around, have fun, experiment. Life is about living, experimenting, growing, having fun. Life isn't all about rules. Yes, there are laws to keep us safe, and there are rules of being kind to one another and stuff like that, but that shouldn't be a rule. That should just be a way of life. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of preaching, but I kind of am feeling that today. All right, so I'm gonna put a little bit right there. Now I don't have to go to the edge with this because we're gonna be putting that fabric around the edge, but I did anyway, just so, because consistency. Now I'm at about 2/3 of a jar left, and I've done, well, technically this is the third project. First project was just me playing around with it and seeing what it could do. Now the cool thing about this paint is we're gonna get like the words are hard. Oxygenation, is that a word? Like in Tim Holtz's oxide inks, the distress oxides, you get that kind of different color feel. You're going to get that with this paint, especially if you do this. I'm going to, crap, I was going to change my water out. That's okay. I'll do it after the live, maybe. It's been a long day already. I've been doing so many different things and do you ever do that where you just like bounce from thing to thing to thing to thing, and then finally you just sit down and realize, what did I get done? And like think, oh my gosh, I got all this done and I don't even remember doing half of it. Or I got nothing done that I needed to get done. Now it's time to focus, because that's usually my day. It's usually my day. So we're gonna take, you know what? We're gonna take a little bit of this coffee stain and we're gonna spray coffee stain on it. And if you don't know how to use coffee stain, if you go to my channel page, there is a playlist right on top that says, if you're new here, if you're new, start here. And it has the recipe to my coffee stain, and it has a bunch of other really cool videos in it. And they're videos, they're short. They're not like my 7-hour live streams that I tend to do. I'm really loving this. So we're going to take a little bit of rubbing alcohol. Where'd my rubbing alcohol go? And we're going to spray it with that, just because it gives more of a cool effect with the coffee stain. The coffee stain does have a little bit of rubbing alcohol in it, and that's just to keep it from getting all gunky. All right, I'm going to turn on my hair dryer again. I'm going to hit this with the hair dryer on low so we can dry this off. Do you see what's going on here? This, I probably not, because it's all glary. That's why I wanted this, and it's going to dry matte. So excited. Here we go. Muting microphone. Oh, this is glorious. Okay. My power strip that I have on my desk decided to fall on the floor. So that was challenging to hold that, but you know what? We got it done. So I want to show you this because this is really cool. So next time someone tells you that you can't do that with your junk journal, hold my beer, hold my wine, hold my sweet tea, whatever you're drinking, tell them to hold it. And there are areas in the spine that are still a little wet. Excuse me. And over here, it's still a little wet. So what we're going to do, though, we're going to embrace that. And we are going to take our stamps. And I'm trying to decide. I think it was this one and this one I had that. No, it was, I can't remember which one I had in the thumbnail, but they were art foamies like this. I thought I put them to the side, but to the side can mean anywhere in the studio at this point. So when this dries, we will take and stamp. Actually, we can do it now. Let's take and do just a few stamps, maybe, just to give it some visual interest. I'm thinking this is too big. I mean, we could, yeah. We could do the, let's play around with this idea. We could do like a center tile. Come back, do another center tile, and then do like a tiled wall. But I think that, yeah, I think we'll do that. Yeah, or something. Just maybe one in the center. Maybe, yeah, let's do like a tiled wall. So we'll go down the center-ish. What color? Let's do, well, what do we have for colors on our, let's do a brown. I don't think my ground espresso is going to have enough oomph to it. We have this Sweet Plum by Memento, but it's not an archival. Do we have blue in the front? No. I think maybe let's just do coffee and see what it looks like. Worst thing is we just embrace it and do something else. You know what we could do? This is the front cover. Let's do the back cover first. That way, if we decide to change it up, that'll be like its own thing. So I'm going to stamp this up really good, or ink this up really good, stamp this up really good. Words are hard. All right, there we go. Stamp it up really good. And we're going to start right here. And I'm just giving it firm pressure, making sure I get most of it pushed down. And then we're going to lift it up. Trying to decide if I like that. Not really. Kind of, sort of. we're going to do it. So this is going to take a minute. So we're just going to go across. And I'm going to put a little bit less ink on this one. Line it up-ish. And is it going to be straight? Probably not. I never go straight except for when I'm driving on the road. Okay, and that should be good. There we go. It is picking up the purple. That's kind of cool. It's kind of changing color as we go here. Come on, there you go. There's some paint on the other side, which is fine. I'm cool with that. We're going to cover that side with fabric anyway. And we might actually paint the edge. Once this is dry, we might come back and just paint it so that there's some consistency. Okay. Whoa, don't drop it. See this? There's some wet paint on there. I just got on the back of my... on the back of the stamp. Which is fine. We're all washable. There we go. Now that I'm doing this, I actually... it's growing on me. I wasn't so sure at first, but you never know till you try. Okay. I'm kind of going a little bit lighter on the ink as I go across. My shoulder just popped. Are they perfectly like separated? No. Does it bother me? No. See, now that one didn't impress as much right there, and that's okay. Now, let's do some more ink, and I'm just lightly patting this onto the Art Foamies stamp, and this actually worked out almost perfect. Sometimes when you just go with your gut, it works out. Okay, so now we're going to come back and we're going to do the bottom, and then we'll flip it around and do the top. And we're going to make it kind of look like it's tiled. There we go. So the brown is kind of, as it dries, is picking up the purple, and it's like almost becoming translucent. Almost. I don't know how else to explain it. I'll show it to you when we get done. I don't know why I'm inking the whole thing. I just need the top half. So, you know what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of paper that's cool. And probably not that one. Let's get one of these. There we go. We're going to put it down below here. Like that. And then we're going to take this and line it up, push it down. Now, because this is a little higher than the paper, I'm going to make sure that I get the paper too. There we go. That looks really cool. Let's put another one. While we're here, we might as well. Let's get this corner real quick though. So I need this corner. And I'm just going to do the corner real quick. There we go. Not perfect, but you know what? Handmade. And I am always going to be one of those people that says, you know what? Machines don't make it perfect either, so why should I be expected to? Is that going to fit there? Let's move this down just a little bit. Okay. Ink this baby up. And I'll move this paper down just a little bit. It's kind of close, but that's okay. Handmade. Get the top, get the bottom, off we go. Now that was a scrap piece of paper, and now is a really cool element that we can add to this journal if we want. So we're gonna fly through this because we just gotta go like that. Excuse me. There we go. Bring that down. Stay. And we're just gonna there we go. Now I want to show you real quick the difference. These are the ones that we just inked on the bottom down here, and these are the ones that are dry. Do you see how the ink was kind of absorbed by the paint? That's so bleeping cool. So because this is a chalk-based paint, we are going to have to seal it, and that's why I'm using archival ink with this, because archival ink will not bleed when hit with more water, but we might actually, I might just take this downstairs and take a coat of spray sealer. So now I want to try and line this up. Like so. This is even smaller than the bottom. Cool. And then I'm just going to take this, get this corner. Okay. Should be good. Oops, we need this side. There we go. That last one got a little off, but that's okay. There we go. So that's done. Now we wait for it to dry. All right. I think I've had my microphone muted this whole time. Have I? I don't know. Let me know. Anyway, I am going to be using walnut stain spray. So you can get this at the Painted Raven. You can also get this paint at the Painted Raven. Link is down in the description. There is a coupon code as well. Give me one moment. I'm going to get a sip of coffee. Okay, so instead of spraying this, I'm going to take the nozzle piece. Whoopa. Get you back in there. Who said you could be let go? You get back in there. Okay, now that I got distress stain all over my fingers, I'm going to take, where did my skewer go? Here it is. Okay, this is one of my favorite art tools. It is a skewer. You can buy a package, I think, of 50 or 100 of them at the Dollar Tree for like $1.25. Probably the best, one of the best art tools ever. All right, I'm just gonna use this to splatter some contrast. I like doing it this way versus trying to spray it like squeeze the thing like Tim Holtz does. I don't know if it's just my hands are super small or I don't have the hand strength anymore. One too many years working assembly, working retail, working with my hands. And I'm just starting a business venture working with my hands because that's all I know how to do. I know how to work with my brain too, but my hands is just so much easier. There we go. And now I'm just going to mist this with rubbing alcohol. Just a little bit. Just kind of. There we go. And then we're going to come in and mist it with water. Okay, and I want to lay this flat. So let's get these inks out of here. I have it kind of, there we go. Let's lay it flat, and I'm going to hit this with the hairdryer. I'll be right back. Okay, I just didn't want the spray to run. So just a quick reminder, we went from boring craft paper to something subtle and beautiful. Now, here's my thinking is we're going to have some cracking along the seam where we're going to be folding. So when this is cured and dry, we're going to purposely crack it and hit it because this is clay-based paint. We can wet distress it before we seal it, and then that way the cracks will look intentional. And when we seal it, it'll seal the crack into the paper. So that way it doesn't crack anymore. At least that's the theory. I have not tested these over the course of 5 years, say. I've only been doing clay-based paint on paper for about a year and a half. I used to use another brand, but because they have such a high minimum requirement for their retail, and you have to be a brick and mortar, I don't use them anymore. I use something that does the same job and that I can offer to my viewers personally. Because Stephanie is a friend of mine and she has it at the Painted Raven. You can go into her shop, you can get a 10%, I think it's 10%. I want to say 10%, don't quote me. Discount on all your online orders too. So it's available locally, it's available online, and I love that. So I'm really loving this paint. I want to get one of every color. So, but right now, can't. Not in the budget. But I've got 3 colors, and I love how they go together, but I also love how this works by itself. So when someone tells you that you can't do that to your journal, you can't do that to your junk journal. That's against the rules. Why are you even trying to do that? You know what? You tell them to take a leap kick rocks, hold my beer, whatever it is, and you do you and create something awesome. Even if you don't know if it's going to be awesome, just create it anyway. And if it turns out, fantastic, you did something really awesome. If it doesn't turn out, you learn something. So either way, you win and they lose because they don't get to make cool stuff like we do. Thanks for joining me. I appreciate you. Remember, be kind to one another. Peace, love, and happiness.